Pro.Gnosis, a podcast with Armon Ree.
Hello everyone, welcome to Pro.Gnosis episode 11. Today we have quite an exception. We have two guests instead of just one, and I think that these two will, really go well together. One is a returning guest, Silas, and the other one is CubStar that I have encountered and been in contact with from the IPS circles, let's say. And I found that this tripartite, let's say, conversation would be interesting due to CubStar really, well, he says he's not an expert, but really delves deep into mythology, astrotheology, and so studying the movements of constellations and stars and how they relate to the narratives being applied onto the world stage. So I would like, first of all, to welcome everyone here.
Hello.
Hi there.
So, Cub, people don't know you much outside of the IPS. So would you like to introduce yourself? How did you come about this side of the internet? How did you start your journey and end up in the world stage dissection?
I'd say I've always been on this journey.
Yeah.
I've never been one who really followed the rules too well. I was always looking for deeper mysteries, always looking at the paranormal, and I've been fascinated with the stars my entire life. And it's been a gradual journey of understanding and study. Eventually found, media was obviously faking stories that led me to the IPS. And from there, I've found that a group of people who see the world the same way.
Right. Yeah. And here we are. And have you ever come into contact with Silas's work as well?
I've heard a few of Silas's talks, and I'm very interested. He's a very deep guy.
Thank you.
He is, yeah. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the subject, and I will probably start with one of the aspects that more in current world stage events right now. Perhaps the link between the constellation of Andromeda and a world stage figure such as Kamala Harris, as was pointed out by someone else. It wasn't, I don't think it was you, CubStar, but not sure. Or was it? And I don't know.
No, it wasn't me. It's a very fascinating link, though.
Yeah, that the star Almanac and the star Syrah that compose two of the edges, let's say, I don't know what's the technical term, of the constellation, when you invert the names, they spell exactly Kamala Harris. So what do you think is the connection of this world stage figure with the actual mythology of Andromeda, and what do you think that will lead in the narrative?
Well, Andromeda is a princess. She's the princess of Cassiopeia and Cepheus, who was chained to the rock to be sacrificed to the to Cetus, the sea monster, who eventually became the Kraken. And we're seeing this at the same time as the West is falling. The Kraken was sent to destroy Argus. which was a powerful kingdom at the time. And it was Andromeda that chose to sacrifice herself, save the kingdom. And it was only because the hero came along to kill the Kraken that she was saved. So what we could see in this situation is the sacrifice of Kamala Harris, that she's the one being chained to the rock and giving herself up to protect the West, in a sense, when really what they're doing is creating a new kingdom that comes after, that she will one day preside over. And that we'd see the destruction of America, or the West as it is, as a sacrifice to build the new kingdom.
And there have been associations between, I believe, Trump and the Kraken, right, in the past.
Yeah, release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. Yeah, that's interesting. And so, in this particular case, at least from the world stage perspective, it would seem that Kamala, not being particularly conservative or anything like that, how do you think that they will spin the story that she would be protecting or sacrificing herself for this idea of the West? Would it be just in the matter of the freedoms of choice and that kind of thing?
Yeah, it'd be the symbology that's placed on her. That she's for the people, that she's going to help the people. In very much the same way that Andromeda was seen as, the people's princess. They're trying to hold Kamala up as that same ideal. The leftists see her as a savior, that Trump is a monster, and that she is their only hope of savior. We had some celebrities even saying that they should vote for her no matter what she said. So in that way, they're holding her up to an ideal that she can't even achieve herself.
Of course. And her first speeches were all about supposedly presenting her CV or something like that, which was already, in a sense, saying that she's actually, as a character in the world stage, not fit for the position, but she went forward anyway, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Silas, would you like to jump in on this idea as well, since I know that you have something to present?
Yeah. Interestingly, I was discussing with an individual regarding this yesterday. Actually, we were meant to discuss something totally different, and we ended up just getting onto this. I think he was discussing J.D. Vance, Trump. We did an etymological breakdown of the word Vance and J.D., transliterating it into Hebrew and that, and then tying that all in, and then this Kamala Harris thing came up regarding Andromeda. But it's interesting with Andromeda being the daughter of Cassiopeia, and of course Cassiopeia is above Andromeda within the constellations, the night sky, and then above her is obviously Cepheus. So Cepheus, interestingly, was the king, the husband of Cassiopeia, the king of Ethiopia, the king of the kingdom of the burned men, which is the literal Greek translation. So the black individuals, the individuals of what we would call now East Africa and such. It's interesting, of course, with Kamala, which in Sanskrit her name means lotus, which may potentially link to this from a sort of dharmic or Vedic perspective. But this idea, so she's black, or she's half black and half Indian, that idea, but she's seen as black. And you have this sort of racial divide in America too, of which, of course, Kamala Harris is a mere microcosm of that. But it's interesting as well because you have the tie-in with the alchemical great work, the first stage being nigredo, or literally blackness, or the blackening, putrefaction, taking the base material or the target and reducing it down to its basal component, which is, of course, in the world of carbon, carbon itself, right? The product of charcoal from Latin. So I think Cassiopeia, as it ties in with Joker too, and I don't know if you want to get into that now, but Cassiopeia is the Sophia in its maternal aspect. And Cassiopeia, if you, again on the night sky, if you jot down or make points upon Aldebaran in Taurus, Regulus in Leo, Antares in Scorpio, or the eagle on the World Tarot card, and Fomalhaut in Pisces Austrinus, the southern fish, which could be a reflection of Aquarius in many ways, again linking to the man on the World Tarot card. It's clear to see that she essentially is the mother of matter. She is like the deification, the astronomical symbol for eternal time, and the revolutions, the cyclical nature of history, and things such as that. And of course, this agenda that we see play out is all based around revolutions. One could say that they are the fathers of the revolutions, and of course, the Queen of Heaven is the mother of the revolution in that sense. But that is our maternal aspect. The other twin aspect would be Cassiopeia, which is this sort of breaking apart of the chain of the, of the links of the chain, which is how we see are illustrated within the heavens, from both Greek, Roman, and some Near Eastern illustrations. And that could link to this idea of, well, you see it within the Ophiuchus, of the wrestling of the serpent. If the chain is like the serpent, the chain being broke apart is like the Great Reset. If we think of, again, like on the World Tarot card as well, the Leviathan, the Ouroboros all the way around this Sophia. And of course, she has the velvet or linen cloth wrapping or coiling around her. Again, an allusion to eternal time. So I think that's what we're seeing with that. With Kamala, or Alamak, which is at our lower point, the bottom of our feet in the illustration. If we go to Merak, which is our midpoint, and then, of course, to Sarah, which is her head. There's, in fact, pardon me, there's another star there, and then it's Sarah. It's called something else, I forget. It's Aldefarad.
CubStar will probably know.
Yeah.
No, it's quite a small one. I'm not too sure which that one is.
So that's at the head. So
I don't know the
essentially,
main one.
Kamala Harris is the entire spine, or from the bottom to the top of Andromeda. And I think that there's probably something of symbolic significance in that. And then, of course, Sarah attaches to the Pegasus constellation, but the Great Square. So you have this same idea that we see on the World Tarot card of the four royal stars. That same sort of, it's similar on the crucifix as well, right? The 4 points.
Yeah.
And you see the fifth of Christ. It's very interesting. We were in Sintra as well, CubStar, me and Armin. It's this very, it's almost this quite secretive site. It feels very sacred, and it's completely different, even environmentally and climactically, from the rest of Lisbon. And you saw the same sorts of the 4 with the 5th that join all the 4 together. This same sort of symbolism, which I think has a deep resonance within this Cassiopeia thing, right?